Well, hello there, random person on the internet who's hopefully not allergic, because this deck is nuts. Oh, God, this is awful. Now, a nut draw is the most explosive hand a deck could have, like an incredibly aggressive curve or the fastest way to pull off your combo. Well, in today's deck, the nut draw is casting an Ulamog or attacking for 36 on turn 3. To pull this off, we need a bit of luck and Leyline of Abundance. It makes mana creatures tap for an additional green, and you can start the game with it on the battlefield if you have it in your opening hand. We play a total of 12 mana creatures and 4 Nisses to animate lands. An animated forest produces 3 mana with a Leyline and a Nissa in play. But that's not all the ramp we got. We also play Cavalier of Thorns to get an additional land, Nyxbloom Ancient to triple up our mana, and Growing Rites of Ulamogs, which flips into a Gaia's Cradle, and yes, it's completely absurd with Nyxbloom Ancient. But what do we need all that mana for? Maybe casting an Ulamog? Maybe a Finale of Devastation for Endrace Forerunners for an insanely lethal attack. Or you could pump all that mana into a biogenic ooze to make an unstoppable army of oozes. And you can always just use the Leyline itself to grow your team. And then we play Nylea to dig us through our deck, and she also profits from the Leylines on the battlefield since they count for devotion. Now, a turn 3 Ulamog is obviously pretty unlikely. It's the absolute nut draw, but what might happen is you're having 2 Leylines and a 1-drop, so even on this mulligan you can play a 5-drop on turn 2. Luckily we even draw the Nissa, so turn 2 Nissa. At this point, if you have any mana sink like this biogenic ooze, it doesn't really matter what your opponent does as long as they don't wipe your board. We just run away with this game here, pumping all our mana into the ooze and into the Leyline. And our opponent is probably thinking, this dude just hit the nut draw, but that was on a mulligan and we didn't even draw an Ulamog. This deck has some ridiculous nut draws, and I don't know if it's just me being lucky, but it kinda shows in the stats, especially in today's historic meta. Let's just forget about that clean 0-4 we did in the beginning of March. Yeah. For some reason, this deck has a better win rate on the draw, and it completely annihilates Gruul aggro, which is the most prevalent deck in historic. There's a lot more to talk about this deck, on how to pull off a turn 3 Ulamog or other insane plays, and you can read all about them in my article in the description. But for now, let's keep the deck tag short. Maybe you have some spare time to click like on this video if you want to help out the channel, and let's quit talking and let's try to draw some nuts. Well, let's go. Game number 1, and oh, now that's a good hand right here. A Leyline, a 1-drop, and a Nissa on turn 3. Let's see what our opponent is up to. Opponent starts off with a Llanowar Elf and a Numori as a companion, so probably Wynota, which is not banned at the time of this recording. Oh, we draw a biogenic ooze. That's gonna be great later, but for now, let's just play the Paradise Druid and pass the turn. Opponent with a turn 2 Legion Warboss, so they're pretty close to their nut draw if they have Wynota, but well, we are not too far from our nut draw as well. Let's just play the Nissa, and you know what? Let's play the biogenic ooze as well, because that's what you do on a turn 3, I guess. No, this is it right here. If our opponent has a Wynota, they are still in it, but if not, well, that's gonna be pretty hard, and ooh no. They play a Llanowar and another Legion Warboss, but depending on what we draw, we're gonna stomp him next turn. Oh. Now that's an Ulamog, and well, need I remind you that this is turn 4 and we play a Nylea into Ulamog, and we just blow up their lands so they don't play Wynota next turn. And well, I don't know if our opponent stays in this. And they don't. They had enough. Well, they didn't have their Wynota, but we just put 24 mana's worth of permanence into play on turn 3 and 4, so I don't know if that would have saved them anyway. Game number 2 with a pretty lame hand. Don't be shy to mulligan with this deck. The nut draw is just too great and functions pretty much the same if you have 6 cards in hand. This hand is okay. We kinda have to bank on our growing rights of Ulamogs here to find us some action, but it's a keep. Opponent starts with a Llanowar Elf, passes back, we play a Goose and pass back. Opponent plays a Forest and passes back. Now they're probably missing out on a color here. Let's just play a Paradise Druid, and next turn we have to decide if we want to go for the Growing Rights or just play the Cavalier of Thorns. Let's see what our opponent does. Opponent misses another land drop and we draw a Biogenic Ooze. Now this game is gonna be over pretty quick if our opponent doesn't draw some serious action here. Well, they finally draw their mountain and play a Questing Beast. A little too late. We just take the damage and next turn is gonna be great. We draw a Nissa, but let's just stick to the plan, play the Growing Rights, find a Llanowar Elf. We play the Llanowar Elf. Now always be sure to set a stop on your end step when you flip a Growing Rights with an Ooze in play, since then you can spend the mana before its trigger resolves and your token gets an additional counter. Well, next turn we have access to 12 mana with the flipped Growing Rights and now, you know what you can do with 12 mana? Maybe cast a Finale of Devastation for X equals 10, finding a Endrace Forerunners and come on! Our opponent just scooped it up. We would have attacked for 76 trampling damage here, but well, off to the next one. Game number 3 and that hand is a mulligan. Now that's a turn 2 Nissa right here. Let's just bottom the Growing Rights and be all in on this turn 2 Nissa, I guess. Opponent starts up with a Llanowar Elf. Everybody's playing Llanowar Elves these days, it seems. We start up with the Goose. And they know it, hitting us with a good game. Opponent plays a Pelt Collector and, well, we just play a Nissa next turn. No!
Are you sure about that?
They got the stomp for the Goose. Well, yeah, okay. We just play the Paradise Druid and pass back. Opponent plays a Burning Tree Emissary, grows the Pelt Collector, and plays the Bone Crusher Giant. But if we draw a land, we can play Nissa into Cavalier of Thorns here. Oh, that's a land. Now, let's play the Nissa, untap a land, which taps for 4 mana right now, and just play the Cavalier of Thorns, getting us another forest. Pass the turn. Now, they're probably gonna kill our Nissa now, but I mean, what you gonna do? Yep, I mean, they swing all in at Nissa. We can just eat the Bone Crusher Giant here, but Nissa's gonna die, sadly. And a Domri's Ambush to finish off our Cavalier now. Change of plans here. We gotta grind this one out. Let's put Nylea on the top of our library, which is a 4 mana 5/6 indestructible, which is crazy hard to deal with for Gruul. That's probably one of the reasons why the Gruul matchup is so good, since they don't really have any options to deal with Nylea, and with the Leylines in play, she's permanently gonna be a creature. The opponent Domri's Ambush, killing our land, and pass the turn, okay? We activate Nylea and Biogenic Ooze, that's a great hit. We draw a Castle Garenbrick and play the Ooze, which only costs 4 mana with Nylea in play. And pass the turn. Opponent Gruul Spellbreaker, but no attacks. We activate Nylea, put the land into our graveyard, and we draw a Llanowar Elf. We're not gonna play this, just make an Ooze token and pass the turn. Now our army of Oozes is growing bigger and bigger, so our opponents really gotta find a way to pressure us here. Well, they drew a Questing Beast. Now if they have an Embercleave, this is going to be a problem, but we activate Nylea and find a Finale of Devastation. Definitely keep that on top. We can only cast it for 5, but you know what costs 5 mana? Another Ooze, so let's get this. And you know what, at this point we can attack with Nylea as well, since we gotta kill him at some point. End of turn, our Oozes trigger, and now for 2 counters every turn, so this is going to get out of hand really quick. Opponent plays a Paradise Druid and a Gruul Spellbreaker, running it all out there. They pass the turn, we draw a land, well, we just make an Ooze token and another Ooze. Attack with Nylea and a 6/6 Ooze. Close this one out as fast as possible. I don't know what our opponent can draw, but they didn't scoop yet. So let's see what they do. And they scoop it up. Now that's GG. That's it for this game, and also that's it for this video. Bit of a shorter one this time. I wanted to get this out before the new set releases, and wow, how cool does this core set look? Like the reprints, all the new cards, the new shrines, everything's so cool about this set and I can't wait for it. And if you want to hear more about this deck, check out my article in the description where I go over the chances to draw the absolute nut draw, like turn 3 Ulamog or attacking for 36 on turn 3. I also break down all the cards in the deck and maybe some possible changes to it, since this is a work in progress actually. Yeah, that's it. Please check out the article. Like this video if you liked it. Seriously, it really helps out the channel to like and comment and subscribe if you want to see more. Follow me on Twitter for some more memes, and well, I've done it. I've done the whole video without saying that we nutted on our opponent. Oh my god, I just said it! Don't tell my mom!